What if your personal energy is the most valuable currency you will ever possess? A wise man knows that a life of great power is not about making more, but about wasting less. This is the secret to building a life of immense, focused energy. Stoic men don't waste their energy. Stoicism, compiled and published by Stoic Dominion. Lesson 1. Identify hidden drains on your energy. Imagine you are the steward of a great pristine reservoir. This reservoir represents your total life force, your mental, emotional, and physical energy. It is your most precious resource. Now imagine that at the base of your reservoir's massive dam, there are a dozen small, almost invisible leaks. One is a slow drip of resentment. Another is a steady trickle of anxiety about the future. A third is a constant seep of energy into pointless arguments on the internet. A single leak seems insignificant, but the combined, relentless effect of all these hidden drains is that your reservoir can never be full. You wake up each morning, and by noon, you feel mysteriously depleted, irritable, and unmotivated. This is the inner conflict that defines the modern condition. We are living lives of profound, energetic poverty, but we cannot identify the source of the leak. The problem is that we are looking for a single catastrophic breach in our dam. We are looking for a major crisis, but the truth is that our power is not being lost in a flood. It is being lost in 1,000 tiny, silent, and unexamined drips. These hidden drains are the invisible habits of an undisciplined mind, and they are robbing you of the very energy you need to build a great life. The first and most foundational law of personal power is to become a master engineer of your own reservoir, to learn to identify the hidden drains on your energy. This is the practice of bringing a bright, unflinching light of awareness to the small, daily ways you are squandering your most precious resource. The core Stoic principle here is that of mindful attention, or prosok. A Stoic is a vigilant guardian of his own mind. He understands that his inner world is the only thing he truly controls, and so he pays meticulous attention to its state. He knows that an unexamined life is a life of constant energy leakage. By learning to spot the small, habitual ways you waste your power, on worry, on gossip, on anger at things you cannot control, you can begin the crucial work of sealing the leaks. This is not about becoming a passionless robot. It is about becoming a wise steward who understands that his energy is the sacred fuel for his purpose, and he refuses to see it wasted on trivialities. To begin this essential diagnostic work, you must become an honest accountant of your own energy. The first actionable step is to conduct an energy audit. For the next 3 days, keep a small journal or a note on your phone. At 3 different times during the day, morning, noon, and night, pause and ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is my current energy level? And what have I been spending my mental and emotional energy on for the past few hours? Be brutally honest. Were you ruminating on a past mistake? Were you worrying about a future event? Were you engaged in a pointless social media debate? The second step at the end of the 3 days is to analyze your data. Look for the patterns. What are your top 3 recurring hidden drains? Name them. My biggest drains are worrying about what my boss thinks, arguing with strangers online, and complaining about the traffic. The third step is to choose one and only one of these drains to be your primary target for the next week. Do not try to fix everything at once. Your mission is to simply bring a heightened awareness to this one specific leak. The benefits of identifying these hidden drains are a profound and immediate sense of empowerment. You will stop feeling like a victim of a mysterious chronic fatigue and will start to see the clear cause and effect relationship between your mental habits and your energy levels. This awareness is the first and most crucial step in reclaiming your power. You are no longer the clueless steward of a leaking reservoir. You are the master engineer who has identified the fractures in his own dam and is now ready to begin the powerful work of repair. Your practice for this week is to simply observe. Choose your biggest energy drain, and for the next 7 days, your only job is to silently notice every single time you engage in it. Just see the leak. That is the beginning of all change. Once you have identified the leaks, you must develop the skills to seal them. The most significant leaks are almost always emotional. This leads to our next law. Next, we will learn how to master emotional detachment and clarity. To continue this journey, please subscribe to Stoic Dominion. Lesson 2. Master emotional detachment and clarity. Imagine a master surgeon performing a life-or-death operation. The operating theater is a space of immense emotional pressure. The family is anxious. The stakes are ultimate. The foolish surgeon would allow this external emotional storm to become his own. He would absorb the family's anxiety. He would be terrified by the high stakes, and his hands would begin to tremble. His emotional enmeshment would make him a danger to his patient. The master surgeon, however, practices a profound form of emotional detachment. He acknowledges the pressure, he feels compassion for the family, but his own inner state remains a sanctuary of calm, focused clarity. His detachment is not a sign of coldness or a lack of care. It is the very tool that allows him to perform his life-saving work with skill and precision. This is the inner conflict we face with our own emotions. We believe that to be a caring, engaged human being, we must be a slave to our feelings. We believe that feeling everything deeply is a sign of our humanity. The problem is that this emotional enmeshment is one of the single greatest drains on our life force. By allowing every external event, every mood of another person, every piece of bad news to dictate our own inner state, we are living in a constant, exhausting state of emotional turbulence. We are the surgeon whose hands are always shaking. The second law of energy preservation is to become the master surgeon of your own mind, to learn to master emotional detachment and clarity. This is the practice of creating a clear, protective space between your calm, observing self and the chaotic storm of your own or other people's emotions. The core Stoic principle here is the profound understanding that you are not your emotions. Your emotions are temporary, physiological events that pass through you, like weather passing through the sky. You are the sky, not the weather. The Stoics taught that our suffering comes not from the emotions themselves, but from our assent to them, our judgment that they are important, true, and that we must act on them. Emotional detachment is the discipline of withholding this assent. It is the ability to observe the storm of anger or fear rising within you with a calm, scientific curiosity without identifying with it. This creates a pocket of profound clarity, even in the midst of the most intense emotional storm. It is from this place of clarity that all wise and powerful actions flow. To cultivate this life-changing skill, you must practice the art of observation without participation. The first actionable step is to begin labeling your emotions as they arise. When you feel a surge of anger, instead of saying, "I am angry," you must train yourself to say, "I am observing the feeling of anger within me." This simple linguistic shift is revolutionary. It immediately repositions you as the calm observer, not the emotional victim. The second step is to get curious about the physical sensation of the emotion. Where is it in your body? What is its texture? Is it hot or cold? By focusing on the raw physical data, you disengage from the emotional story your mind is telling you. The third step is to practice this on others. When someone is expressing a strong emotion to you, your first job is not to feel it with them, but to understand it in them. See their emotion as a storm passing through their sky. This allows you to respond with compassionate clarity rather than getting sucked into their emotional vortex. The benefits of mastering emotional detachment are a massive increase in your personal resilience and mental peace. You will stop being a leaf in the wind of your own moods and the moods of others. You will find that you can handle incredibly difficult situations with a level of grace and effectiveness you never thought possible. You will preserve an immense amount of energy that you were previously wasting on emotional drama. You become the master surgeon whose steady hands are a testament to his clear mind and whose calm presence is a source of profound safety and trust for everyone around him. Your practice for this week is to try the labeling technique. The next time you feel a strong emotion, your only goal is to silently label it. This is anger, or this is anxiety. Just observe it as a weather pattern in your own sky. Detachment protects us from our internal emotional drains, but our energy is also under constant assault from the external world. To preserve our power, we must become vigilant guardians of our mental space. Next, we will learn how to protect your mind from distractions. Please like this video if you are ready to become the master of your own emotions. Lesson 3. Protect mental space from distractions. Imagine a scholar, a man of deep thought, working in his private study. His study is his sanctuary, the space where he does his most important work. The wise scholar has a thick, solid door on his study, and he keeps it closed. He understands that his ability to produce work of great value is entirely dependent on his ability to protect his mental space from the endless distractions of the household. The foolish scholar, however, works with his door wide open. Every servant with a trivial question, every child with a noisy game, every bit of gossip from the street is allowed to wander in and disrupt his focus. His study is not a sanctuary, it is a public thoroughfare. His great work is never completed, and he is left feeling frustrated and fragmented. This is the inner conflict of the modern mind. Our mental space, our focus, is our study. The problem is that we have been conditioned to live with the door wide open. We are the foolish scholar. We allow a constant stream of digital servants, notifications, emails, breaking news alerts to interrupt our focus at will. We allow the noisy children of social media to play their distracting games in the middle of our workspace. Our attention is constantly being shattered into 1,000 tiny pieces. This state of perpetual distraction is not just inefficient, it is a profound and constant drain on our mental energy. The third law of personal power is to become the wise scholar and learn to protect your mental space from distractions. This is the unbreakable habit of treating your attention as a sacred resource and building a strong, solid door to protect it. The core Stoic principle here is that of a well-ordered mind. The Stoics knew that a mind that is constantly being pulled in a dozen different directions is a weak and ineffective mind. As Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." A Stoic warrior is a master of his own focus. He understands that in the 21st century, the primary battle is the battle for attention. He sees the endless stream of digital distractions not as harmless entertainment, but as a hostile invasion of his most valuable territory. He therefore takes the rational and necessary step of building strong fortifications and posting a vigilant guard at the door of his own mind. To begin protecting your own sacred study, you must become a ruthless defender of your focus. The first actionable step is to declare a digital off-limits zone. For a specific, scheduled block of time each day, your deep work session, you must be completely unreachable. This means your phone is in another room, all non-essential tabs on your computer are closed, and all notifications are turned off. This is you, closing and locking the door to your study. The second step is to practice attention training. The ability to focus is a muscle. You must train it. The Pomodoro technique is a powerful way to do this. Work in a focused 25-minute sprint, followed by a 5-minute break. Each 25-minute block is a successful rep for your focus muscle. The third step is to curate your information diet. Unsubscribe from newsletters, unfollow negative or distracting accounts, and be incredibly selective about what information you allow to enter your mind. You are the sole curator of your own mental museum. Do not fill it with junk. The benefits of protecting your mental space are a superpower in the modern world. You will find that you can accomplish in one 90-minute focus session what used to take you an entire day of scattered work. Your stress levels will plummet because you will no longer be living in a state of constant, reactive alert. You will feel a profound sense of control over your own mind and your own life. You become the wise scholar whose study is a place of profound peace and productivity, not because the world outside has grown quiet, but because he has had the wisdom and the discipline to close his own door. Your practice for this week is to schedule one 45-minute deep work session. During that time, put your phone in another room and close all other tabs. Experience the power of a protected mind. Protecting your mental space allows you to work. But what work should you be doing? A powerful man does not just do things, he does the right things. This leads to our next law. Next, we will learn how to prioritize your actions with a true and unshakable purpose. Please like and subscribe to support our mission. Lesson 4. Prioritize actions with true purpose. Imagine a master archer standing on a vast plain with a single, perfectly crafted arrow. In the distance, there are 100 different targets. Some are large, easy, and close by. Others are small, difficult, and far away. The foolish archer, wanting the easy satisfaction of hitting something, fires his single, precious arrow at the largest, closest target. He hits it, but it was a target of no importance, and his great arrow is now spent. The master archer, however, does something different. He ignores the 100 easy targets. His gaze is fixed on a single, distant, and incredibly difficult target, the one that, if hit, will win the entire war. He understands that the value of his arrow is determined not just by whether it hits a target, but by which target it hits. This is the inner conflict that drains the energy of even the most productive people. We are busy. We are constantly firing our arrows of action at the endless targets of our to-do list. The problem is that we are often firing at the wrong targets. We are busy, but not effective. We spend our day hitting the large, easy targets, answering trivial emails, attending pointless meetings, dealing with the urgent but unimportant tasks, and by the end of the day, our single, precious arrow of focused, high-quality energy is spent, and the one target that truly mattered remains untouched. This is the silent and tragic waste of our potential. The fourth law of energy mastery is to become the master archer and learn to prioritize your actions with true purpose. This is the practice of having a crystal clear understanding of your ultimate mission and then ruthlessly aligning your daily actions with that mission. The core Stoic principle here is that of the telos, or the ultimate aim of a thing. The Stoics believe that a good life is a life lived in accordance with a clear purpose. For a modern warrior, this means you must have a North Star. You must know what your great, distant, and most important target is. This clarity of purpose becomes your ultimate filter for all your daily decisions. Before you fire an arrow of your time and energy at any task, you must ask one simple question. Does this move me closer to my North Star? This question is the secret to a life of profound focus and impact. It allows you to say no to the 100 easy targets so that you can save your single perfect arrow for the one that truly matters. To become this purposeful archer, you must first identify your target. The first actionable step is to define your one thing. What is the single most important long-term goal you're working towards right now? This could be building a business, writing a book, achieving a certain level of physical mastery, or mastering a skill. This is your distant target. Write it down and place it where you can see it every day. The second step is to practice the rule of 3 for your daily planning. At the beginning of each day, instead of creating a long, overwhelming to-do list, identify the 3 most important arrows you need to fire that day. The 3 tasks that will make the most progress toward your distant target. These 3 things are your only priority. The third step is to eat the frog. This means you must tackle your most difficult and most important task first thing in the morning before the distractions of the day can begin. You fire your most important arrow when your energy and focus are at their peak. The benefits of this practice are a transformation from a life of frantic busyness to a life of focused, effective action. You will find that you're making massive progress on your most important goals, even if you are doing fewer things overall. You will feel a profound sense of purpose and meaning in your daily work, because you will know that every action is a deliberate step toward your own chosen North Star. You are no longer wasting your precious arrows on trivialities. You become the master archer whose every action is a study in precision and power, because he has the wisdom to ignore the 100 targets that don't matter and to pour all of his strength into the one that does. Your practice for tomorrow is to identify your 3 most important tasks before you go to bed tonight. Then, tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, you will fire your first and most powerful arrow at the most difficult of those 3. Prioritizing with purpose gives you direction. But to walk that path consistently, Day after day, you must have a will of iron. This is the work of discipline. Next, we will learn how to strengthen your inner core through unwavering discipline. If you found this valuable, please share this video. Lesson 5. Strengthen inner core through discipline. Imagine two warriors. The first warrior is a man of immense talent and potential. But he only trains when he feels motivated, when the sun is shining, and when he is in the mood. His strength is unreliable, a fleeting state dependent on his feelings. The second warrior has less natural talent, but he is a man of discipline. He trains every single day, at the same hour, without fail. He trains when he is tired. He trains when he is sore, and he trains when the last thing in the world he wants to do is train. This is the inner conflict that separates the amateur from the master. We are often the first warrior. We wait for the lightning bolt of motivation to strike before we take action on our important goals. We believe that to do great work, we must first feel like doing great work. The problem is that motivation is a fickle and unreliable mistress. It is an emotion, and like all emotions, it comes and goes like the weather. A life built on the foundation of motivation is a life of inconsistent progress and ultimate mediocrity. It is a life of waiting for the right feeling, a feeling that often never comes. This is the silent sign of a weak will, a man who is a slave to his own fleeting moods. The fifth law of personal power is to become the second warrior and learn to strengthen your inner core through discipline. This is the practice of detaching your actions from your feelings and anchoring them instead to your unwavering commitment. The core Stoic idea here is that virtue is a habit. A man is not courageous because he feels brave. He is courageous because he has the discipline to act with courage, even when he is terrified. Discipline is the ability to make a promise to yourself and then to keep that promise, regardless of your emotional state. It is the engine that drives you forward when the fuel of motivation has run dry. A Stoic warrior understands that his feelings are irrelevant to the work that must be done. He is not the servant of his emotions. He is the master of his actions. This is the iron will that forges an unbreakable character and an unstoppable life. To forge this core of iron discipline, you must start with small, unbreakable chains. The first actionable step is to choose one, and only one, keystone habit. This is a small daily action that you will commit to doing for the next 30 days, no matter what. It should be so small that it is almost impossible to say no to. Making your bed, doing 10 push-ups, meditating for 2 minutes. The act itself is less important than the act of building the muscle of consistency. The second step is to follow the 2-day rule. You can miss 1 day of your habit. Life happens, but you must never, ever miss 2 days in a row. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new, negative habit. The third step is to find your discipline trigger. This is a specific time or event that will automatically trigger your habit. After I brush my teeth, I will immediately do my 2 minutes of meditation. This removes the need for decision-making and makes the habit automatic. The benefits of building this core of discipline are the attainment of true personal freedom. You will be liberated from the tyranny of your own moods and feelings. You will find that you are making consistent, relentless progress toward your goals, regardless of whether you feel motivated or not. You will build a profound and unshakable sense of self-respect, the respect that comes from knowing you are a man of your word, especially the word you give to yourself. You become the second warrior, whose strength is not a matter of talent or luck, but a direct result of his own unbreakable will. His power is quiet, it is steady, and it is absolute. Your practice is to choose your one keystone habit. Make it laughably small, and then for the next 30 days become the man who never ever breaks the chain. Discipline is the engine that drives us forward, but the world will always try to push us off course. A strong man must be able to withstand this external pressure with a calm and centered mind. Next, we will learn how to respond to external pressure. Please subscribe to Stoic Dominion to continue this training. Lesson 6. Respond calmly to external pressure. Imagine a master swordsman standing in a circle, surrounded by multiple attackers. If he were to become frantic, if he were to turn his back on one opponent to wildly swing at another, he would be quickly overwhelmed. His mastery is not just in his swordplay, but in his ability to remain perfectly calm and centered at the heart of the chaos. He holds his ground, his breathing is steady, and he responds to each threat as it comes with a focused and economical precision. His calm is not just a state of mind, it is his primary defensive and offensive weapon. This is the inner conflict we face when we are under pressure. The pressure can come from a demanding boss, a difficult client, a family conflict, or simply a crushing deadline. Our instinct is to mirror the external pressure with internal pressure. We allow the frantic energy of the situation to become our own. Our thoughts start to race, our body tenses up, and our judgment becomes clouded by a sense of urgency and panic. The problem is that a mind in a state of pressure cannot think clearly. We make sloppy mistakes, we communicate poorly, and we often make the very situation we are stressed about even worse. We are the swordsman who is defeated not by his opponents, but by his own frantic, uncontrolled response to them. The sixth law of energy mastery is to become the master swordsman and learn to respond calmly to external pressure. This is the practice of maintaining your own inner state of calm, regardless of the intensity of the external demands. The core Stoic principle here is that your mind is your fortress, your inner citadel. The pressure of the world, the deadlines, the demands, the angry voices are all external forces. They cannot enter your fortress unless you lower the drawbridge. A Stoic warrior trains himself to be the calm, sovereign ruler of his own mind. He knows that the person who can maintain their composure while everyone else is losing theirs is the person who holds all the power. His calm response is not a sign that he doesn't care. It is a sign that he is in such complete control of himself that he can handle the situation with maximum effectiveness. It is the ultimate display of competence. To cultivate this unshakable calm under pressure, you must drill your response until it is second nature. The first actionable step is to practice the tactical pause. When a high-pressure situation arises, your first move is not to act, but to pause. Take one single, deliberately slow breath. This creates a tiny pocket of stillness that stops the immediate panic reaction and allows your rational mind to come online. The second step is to narrow your focus. The feeling of being overwhelmed comes from trying to think about 10 things at once. You must force your mind to focus on only one thing, the immediate next step. Ask yourself, what is the single most important action I can take in the next 5 minutes? Do not worry about the 10th step, just focus on the first. The third step is to adopt a mantra of slow is smooth and smooth is fast. In a crisis, the urge is to rush. You must consciously force yourself to slow down your movements, your speech, and your thinking. This deliberate slowing will paradoxically make you more efficient and effective, as it will dramatically reduce the number of unforced errors. The benefits of this practice are that you will become a person who thrives under pressure. You will be seen as a reliable, powerful, and effective leader in any crisis. The chronic stress that comes from a life of constant reactivity will be replaced by a quiet confidence in your ability to handle anything that comes your way. You become the master swordsman who is at his most dangerous when he is at his calmest, a point of profound stillness at the very center of the fight. Your practice is to identify one recurring source of pressure in your life. The next time it occurs, your only mission is to execute the tactical pause. Before you do anything else, take one slow, deliberate breath. When a man has mastered all these laws, he is no longer just managing his energy. He is preparing for a lifetime of high performance. The final law is about sustaining this power for the long game. In our final lesson, we will explore how to sustain your energy for long-term dominance. Please like and share this video. Lesson 7. Sustain energy for long-term dominance. Imagine a great marathon runner. He is not a sprinter. He knows that the race is long and that his energy is a finite resource. The foolish runner starts the race at a full, explosive sprint. He looks impressive for the first mile, but he quickly burns through all his energy and collapses, exhausted, long before the finish line. The wise Stoic runner, however, is a master of pacing and energy conservation. He runs his own race. He is not distracted by the sprinters who fly past him at the beginning. He maintains a steady, disciplined, and sustainable pace. He knows that the victory is not won in the first mile, but in the last. His goal is not a momentary burst of glory, but the long-term dominance of enduring to the end. This is the final and most important inner conflict we must resolve. We live in a culture of sprinters. We are obsessed with short-term results, with hustle culture, with burning the candle at both ends. The problem is that this is a recipe for burnout. We treat our lives like a 100-meter dash, not a marathon. We exhaust our physical, mental, and spiritual energy in a frantic pursuit of short-term gains, leaving ourselves with no reserves for the long, arduous, and meaningful journey of a life well lived. The seventh and final law of a powerful life is to become the wise marathon runner and learn to sustain your energy for long-term dominance. This is the practice of shifting your mindset from a short-term focus on performance to a long-term focus on sustainability. The core Stoic idea here is that of a life lived as a coherent whole. A Stoic does not just want to win today's battle. He wants to build a character that can endure and thrive over the course of an entire lifetime. This requires the wisdom of pacing. It requires the discipline to know when to push, but also, just as importantly, when to rest, when to recover, and when to conserve your energy. A man who burns himself out in the pursuit of a short-term goal has not won. He has made a foolish and strategic error. True dominance is not the ability to sprint. It is the ability to never, ever have to stop. To become this master of life's marathon, you must make sustainability your ultimate principle. The first actionable step is to prioritize your recovery as much as you prioritize your work. This means making a non-negotiable commitment to getting enough sleep. Sleep is not a luxury. It is the foundation of all your physical and mental energy. It is the primary maintenance ritual for your mind and body. The second step is to practice the art of the Sabbath. This means scheduling one day or even just a half day each week where you completely disconnect from all work and all goal-oriented striving. This is your time to rest, to play, to connect with loved ones, and to simply be. This is not laziness. It is a strategic act of recharging your batteries. The third step is to learn to listen to the wisdom of your own body. Do not treat your body as a slave to be whipped into submission. When you are feeling exhausted, respect that signal. Take a break. Take a nap. A wise runner knows that ignoring the body's need for rest is the surest path to injury. The benefits of this sustainable approach are a life of consistent, compounding progress and profound, lasting achievement. You will avoid the devastating cycle of burnout and recovery that plagues so many ambitious people. You will find that you have more creative energy, better health, and a deeper sense of well-being. You will be able to play the long game of life with a quiet confidence and an unshakable endurance. You become the wise marathon runner who, in the final miles of the race, passes all the exhausted sprinters with a steady, serene, and powerful stride. His energy sustained because it was always, from the very first step, guarded with wisdom and discipline. Your final practice is a commitment to your own recovery. Schedule 1 hour this week of complete, guilt-free rest. No phone, no work, no goals. Just the strategic act of recharging your own power. A Stoic man does not waste his energy because he knows it is the sacred fuel for his life's great purpose. He is a vigilant guardian of his mind, a disciplined master of his actions, and a wise steward of his own precious vitality. He builds a life not of frantic sprints, but of unstoppable long-term momentum. Thank you for your dedication to mastering the art of personal energy. The discipline to conserve and direct your own power is the master key to a life of profound impact and inner peace. If this guide has provided you with value, please like the video, comment with the lesson that was most impactful for you, and subscribe to Stoic Dominion for more wisdom on the path to an unshakable life.